A warm welcome to this exclusive Know Your Leader series, specially crafted for the leaders of Tata Reality. Hello, Ritesh.
Hi, Shruti.
As a senior leader, we have witnessed you successfully lead your social capital to peak any assignment, thereby making the impossible possible. We look at you as one of the beacon lights in our organization. Well, having said that, we'd like to know the other side of Ritesh in a very feisty chat session. So what do you think? Shall we get started?
Absolutely. First of all, very humbling, and I'd be looking forward, Shruti, so thank you.
Who are your top three leaders that you would look up to?
I mean, it'll be a mix, Shruti. I don't really look up to leaders per se. There are these personalities, frankly, but, and this will be, if I could say, a mix of people that I admire. And this could be political personalities or sports person and some of the others. And frankly, people from business as well. So let me try and name them. I envy our current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, for the way that he has managed perhaps the most diverse country globally. I've always been a sportsman, and I really like, I do believe that there are these three people, sports personalities that I admire. One is Michael Schumacher. I'm an ardent Formula 1 fan. And the reason why I like Michael Schumacher is his pursuit for perfection and never give up. And the only thing that he likes to do is to win at all costs. So I like him for that. I've also liked Sachin Tendulkar, frankly, for carrying 1 billion hopes on his shoulder and frankly for the way that he has. And I also like Roger Federer. And I say, just to be humble in the manner that you've been and to get as much but still be. There's the saying that the higher you go, the humbler that you need to become. And fourth, last but not the least, I really look up to Steve Jobs. I admire for the way that, he's achieved everything against all odds, and more importantly, his pursuit for perfection. I'm a Virgo, and I quite like these traits of all these people.
Ritesh, you yourself have had a very great trajectory in terms of work. Tell us somebody that has really inspired you in your entire journey of work life up until now, and any traits that you would like to imbibe from them.
I've looked up to Sanjay for 3 or 4 key reasons. There are a lot of things that I admire about Sanjay, but the 3 or 4, the one that stands out is to be positive in face of all adversity. I really consider him to be a sponge with the amount of stress or those sort of unwanted things that he goes through and still has a very positive outlook towards whatever that he plans to do. He encourages you to be trying newer things at all times. I mean, there is a measured standard way to do things, but can we do anything else? Have we tried this? Could you look at that? He's always encouraged us to really be looking or thinking out of the ordinary. He encourages you to push yourself, which is something that you learn and you'd like your teams to be doing the same. So I really admire these traits about Sanjay.
We've seen Tatas have built the nation and continue to build the nation. I would like to know, what does the Tata legacy mean to you?
For me personally, I'm very humbled and I'm very proud to be working for a Tata Group entity. This is perhaps the most looked up to, admired brand globally, if not in the country, for the way that I'd say the group has conducted itself and for what the group stands. So each one of us carry this responsibility on our shoulders in the way that you need to be conducting yourselves and the way that you need to be conducting businesses. For me, what the group stands for, frankly, 3 or 4 key things is responsibility, trust, and more importantly, doing things for the nation.
What is that one moment of pride that you feel in the work that you do in this current organization? What brings you joy or pride in the work you do?
The way that I look at it, I try and find a reason for me every single day to come up to work. I think carrying forward the Tata legacy and the encouragement that you get from the group, for you to take pioneering positions, for you to do things differently. How do you make those contributions and how do you do things more effectively? How do you look at creating value for your clients day on day, every day? Everything that you do, you ask yourself this: is this different? Will this make a contribution? And more importantly, will this encourage and allow you to stand out?
Well, Ritesh, can we just get started with some slightly feistier questions? There was a title that you'd give to your biography. What would that be?
If I were to think about a title, I'd perhaps say, do what you've always wanted to. I'd bring out the things, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I'd say the more adventurous self, don't hold yourself back. It can be a plethora of titles that I can give you, Shruti, but Don't hold yourself back. Go for it. What's the worst that can get? Unless and until you try, how would you know? So it can be either of those.
How do you start your day? And what is your morning routine like?
Pranayams, deep breathing. I'm not going to say all of that. But I'm a morning person, Shruti, and wake me up at 4, no problem. But keep me up post 11, I struggle. So I really do think that your morning routine sets you up. So I need my coffee. I need my 2 physical newspapers in my room, in my study, wherever, in a quiet area where I physically go through and gather my thoughts. During that time, you realize what are some of the things that you need to be doing. So my brain starts functioning in the morning in the 1 hour after I get up, Shruti. So that's what I typically do.
Tell us about your favorite vacation that you've had, and also, do you prefer beaches or do you prefer the mountain?
It's the most recent one because it's fresh in your mind. And as they say, vacations are always small, irrespective of how long they are. But I love mountains more than beaches, but I love Goa. I love Goa for what the city has to offer and the vibe that it has, but I don't like going in water. The most recent is my most favorite, which I think will be Scotland, and amongst the most prettiest, and a city which I think has just so much character, monuments and whatever that you call it. The way that they've preserved that has to be Edinburgh. So Scotland as a country, for what it has to offer, untouched, pristine, beautiful, and I virtually, as a family, we drove through all of the UK over 2 weeks. And yeah, city has to be Edinburgh. So Scotland, Edinburgh.
Ritesh, are you fond of music?
Very. Well,
what is your preferred genre?
Frankly, anything that gets you in the mood. And of course, we coming up with tunes for Intellion. So, and of course, the contributions that everyone made at the moment, and all thanks to my daughter. Frankly, I don't really have a preferred genre. It can be jazz, or it can be pop, or it can frankly be what are you thinking at that time? Often, even at times in the morning, frankly, when you're taking those early morning flights and you're driving, you'd even actually listen to classical music to perhaps just calm you down and get you in the mood. At the moment, what's playing in my mind, frankly, apart from just the playlist, is Punjabi.
What's your favorite top list? What's the number that's on repeat for you right now?
Actually, many. I won't just say a number. There are many. There are artists, frankly. If my daughter, whenever she does see this, she'll be proud. AP Tillo is the one who's doing, Moosewala. I forget the name, but there is this particular song by Rehan and Riaz Saab, and there are so many. There are a lot of Pakistani artists, frankly, who've done some fantastic work, and it's that playlist where there is one that I would say is autoplay at the moment, irrespective of how you're feeling, long day at work, or if you're going for a long drive, or if you're with the family, Punjabi for sure.
Ritesh, tell us something about, let's say, either one fond memory or multiple fond memory that you would have in your lifetime up until now.
There'd be many, Shruti, and there'd be the feisty ones as well. Things that you frankly done whilst you were growing up, and when you were in school and when you were in college, and you got many of those. You think about the one that keeps coming to your heart will be the first time that I actually held my daughter in my arms, and the sheer sense of joy, delight, responsibility, magnanimity of the responsibility that you've got, wonder with evolution in life, love, all sorts of emotions. So, and the impact that has on your life. So clearly, by far, it has to be my daughter the first time that she was born.
Well, I've got one last question for you. What's that one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
My wife, she encourages me to do more, saying, look, experiment. Why are you so monotonous? And there are 3-4 things that I like to do. I like to make things simple in this world, which has got so much data and complexity. And as a practice, as the way that I'd like to live my life is, how can you make things simple? I try and bring that in business. I try and bring that in life as much as I'd like to do, even though Ruby doesn't agree, but I like to make things simple. The one thing for sure that, and again, in my quest for so-called perfection, I don't like compromising, Shruti. So I like to strive and aim for the best. I don't like anything which often encourages you to perhaps, end up doing the same thing as many times. The advice that I'd like to give is try. What's the worst that'll happen? And unless you don't try, how would you know? So clearly do more things. Clearly try to do newer things for sure.
Thank you so much for this chat session. We've really gotten to know the other side of everything.
Thank you. I hope so, Shruti. Thank you very much.